the land of the free and the home of the brave.
My name is Michael Quinn, and as president of the American Revolution Center, it is my great pleasure to welcome you today for very important announcements about our vision of establishing the Museum of the American Revolution at this location in historic Philadelphia. You will soon meet Gerry Lenfest, if you don't already know him, who is the chairman of our board of directors, and I'd like to take a moment to introduce a few other members of our board of directors. And actually, if I could ask these people to put their hands up when I say their names: Dave Acton, Adrian King, Martha Snyder, Peggy Duckett. These are the people who share this vision and are committed to making it a reality. It is a special privilege today to be joined by the First Lady of Pennsylvania, Ms. Susan Corbett, and it's an honor to welcome the mayor of our wonderful city, Mayor Michael Nutter. It's now my privilege to introduce our nation's first Commander-in-Chief, General George Washington.
I welcome all of you. Fellow citizens, we gather this morning in what will no doubt become the most historic square mile of all of United America. It already is? Is that what you're telling me? I'm glad to hear that. You know, it was in Philadelphia City, in the colony, now the state of Pennsylvania, that most of the most important events, life-changing events for me, actually occurred. This Commonwealth, for example, saw my service as a British loyal subject. I was from the country of Virginia, but I fought in the country of Pennsylvania during the French and Indian War. That was, of course, on the other side of this state. Years later, this city would figure centrally in severing the ties with Great Britain and the formation of these United States of America. And I was, you could say, I suppose, involved. I find, as I travel down the road, becoming an elder, I spin back more and more and recall the story. No event figured more centrally in the miracle that was the formation of this free and independent country than the War of American Independence, the Revolutionary War. It was just down the Chestnut Street that we delegates of the Second Congress agreed to raise up arms against our king. This is something that no other colony in the history of humankind had ever done successfully, and we were going to do it against the most powerful fighting force in the entire world, the British Army and the British Navy. It was also just yonder that I was commissioned as Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army of the United Colonies of America. We would not declare independency for 13 more months. It was from here and elsewhere in this Commonwealth that I received my orders from the Congress. I remember telling the Congress that I believed that I had not the military experience nor knowledge to succeed, but that I would serve our glorious cause for no pay and for no profit. I remember sitting down after that statement, and believe me when I tell you, you could hear a pin drop. We all knew that our world, perhaps the world, would never be the same again. I recall writing from my boarding rooms here in Philadelphia to Mrs. Washington in June 1775, she being to the southward at our home, Mount Vernon in Virginia. I promised her after my commissioning that I would be home for Christmas Eve. I didn't tell her which Christmas Eve. I literally walked across the threshold of our home on Christmas Eve 8.5 years later. My story was but one part of a very complex period, a time that ranged from the end of the French and Indian War up to the ratification of the Constitution. There are so many others, men and women whose stories must be told as well. And that is why we are here this day. There is a word that appears in the Bible, perhaps almost more than any other word. It is the reason I believe we're here today. The word is remember. Remember. You are all here because you understand the importance of remembrance. The story of the War of American Independence needs to be remembered and told. As I have written in recent correspondence, when historiographers try to tell the story of our revolution, 'twill not be believed. And the actions taken at that time and the ideas that we fought for serve as the basis and underpinning for our society, our government, and our very lives as American citizens. They serve as a beacon light for people of other nations as well. I want to conclude and speak for just a short moment about the subject of giving. You may be aware that there were many times when patriots reached into their own pockets and purses, myself included, even though the outcome of the war was uncertain. These people did indeed pledge their property, their lives, and sacred honor so that the story could unfold. Something good and great was about to be created. Now, that story needs to be told and to serve as a reminder for generations unborn. My personal credo is deeds, not words. I ask you to understand that the Declaration of American Independence was not simply a collection of words on a piece of parchment. I ask you to remember that they too are a call to action, and I urge you to act and to follow the examples of your contemporaries who, as people who believe in their community, as citizens who love their country, and as freedom-loving people who remember the story of that freedom won, to give selflessly and generously, because our glorious cause is not over. The story needs to be told. I remain your humble and your obedient servant.
When we think about our founding fathers, it was in fact on this day in 1776 that one other of our founders was to make his contribution. On June 11, 1776, the Continental Congress met in Independence Hall, and they appointed a committee of 5 to draft an explanation of why 13 British colonies should no longer be part of the British Empire. So it's very likely that on this day, June 12th, 1776, that Thomas Jefferson was pressed into service by Ben Franklin, by John Adams, and the other members of that committee to prepare a first draft. Writing that explanation, he strove to convey the convictions forming in the hearts and minds of all Americans. And as we now know, Jefferson's words not only achieved those purposes, but gave voice and unity to the American cause. They inspired a ragtag army to greatness, and they established the ideals of the American people with the following memorable words. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are born equal and are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, which include life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. The Museum of the American Revolution will tell the story of how the men and women of the founding era, this country's original greatest generation, had the courage and the conviction to conceive these ideas and then risk everything to make them a reality. Creating a national museum here in the heart of Philadelphia, where every person can learn the history and the significance of the American Revolution, is one of the most urgent imperatives of our and every generation. As the General has just reminded us, the ideals of the American Revolution still define the American people and must be understood and upheld by every individual for our nation to thrive. Now, to return to the story of Mr. Jefferson's work. He started on this day 236 years ago, and he completed his draft on June 28th. In other words, it took him just 16 days to compose the words that have become the creed of our nation and that have reverberated ever since, inspiring those who seek freedom around the world. I have to confess, it'll take us a little longer to bring the Museum of the American Revolution to reality. But we aim to share the same sense of inspiration, and we are uniquely suited to build this museum. We now have ownership of the ideal location, this building, just blocks from Independence Hall, and linked to it by a string of historic tools. We also have a nationally significant collection of artifacts from the Revolution that were authentic witnesses to the struggles and the success of our founding generation. So I would now like to introduce our Director of Collections and Interpretation, Dr. Scott Stevenson, to give a brief sample of our collection.
Will you indulge me in a brief exercise and close your eyes for me, please, everyone. I have a dream. Iwo Jima, 407 years ago. Okay, you were thinking in pictures, weren't you? And they probably came quite immediately to your mind. Can anyone look in those successive photographs of Abraham Lincoln during the Civil War and see the lines deepen on his face? See the images of those 3 Confederate prisoners at Gettysburg looking very dignified and defiant, standing in front of a redoubt that they had just assaulted and survived a few days earlier. The power of the photograph really connects us to 150 years of American history in a very immediate and powerful way. Now, if you'll close your eyes again for just a moment. When in the course of human events, remember the ladies, Fort Washington, Paoli, Morristown. Are you struggling a little bit more? You have good company if you are. Many of us sitting here, because we have so many people from the cultural community here in this historic area, know how challenging it can be to bridge that gulf between our generation, rising generations of Americans, and that revolutionary generation, as Mike said, America's first greatest generation. They changed the world by giving us a new premise to found a society, from a world in which there were natural rulers and ruled to a world in which self-government and the premise that all people are created equal is increasingly the norm rather than the exception. These are the ideas, as His Excellency General Washington, as Mike mentioned, these powerful and important transforming ideas. But ideas, even very big ideas, did not change the world without actions, deeds, as His Excellency was pleased to say. It took actions of real people to create and sustain the nation. Actions, deeds, the protests, the debates over the meaning of liberty, over rights, rebellion, finally revolution, and through all uncertainty, always uncertainty about where this was all going to lead. This is the part of the story we might call experience. And the experience of the revolution, despite the power of those photographs, has all of the drama, all of the tragedy, uncertainty, surprise, import, perhaps greater import, actually, in the long history of the modern world that we associate with those later moments in American history. So the Museum of the American Revolution, which will rise on this site, will bring ideas and experience together under one roof, a glorious roof that we'll hear about in just a few minutes from Mr. Stern. It'll be a deeply layered and engaging visitor experience, using all the sort of time-tested and innovative tricks and tools of museum design. And I'm happy to acknowledge Richard Molinaroli and Beth Miles, if you would raise our hand, the two M's in MFM Design, who are leading our exhibition design effort, about which you'll hear much more later this year. At the heart of the experience will be those authentic witnesses to our nation's founding, the objects, the manuscripts, the works of art that satisfy our yearning for the real in this increasingly virtual world. It's the same impulse that leads millions of Americans, and I swear we did not arrange for the tour buses to be unloading many of those visitors in front while we sit here right now. Millions of people literally on the sidewalk in front of our future front door, who come here to stand in the presence of the past, which is something that no website will ever do. Now, our collection was assembled over the past century, beginning with the acquisition in 1909 of General Washington's marquee, his sleeping and office tent. And I was delighted to hear General Washington recall that when he left for Philadelphia in the spring of 1775, he would not return again to the threshold of Mount Vernon until 1783. Washington's other home, the home during all these events of the American Revolution, for much of that time was what we refer to as the first Oval Office, the conveniently oval-shaped sleeping and office tent that accompanied Washington through the Revolutionary War, that was acquired, again, the first acquisition in what is now a world-class collection. This is the tent, the sleeping and office tent, under which all those momentous dispatches were read and written. It was a place where the Marquis de Lafayette, 50 years later, when he returned to America and was greeted by members of the Society of the Cincinnati in Baltimore, standing beneath that canopy, was brought to tears with emotion, remembering the high and the low moments, probably particularly the low moments of the Revolution that took place in that other home of General Washington. And I think with no slight intended to our national anthem, compared to a place like that, the Star-Spangled Banner is a really nice flag. This is a very important place. And this will be really a significant experience in the Museum of the American Revolution, is the opportunity to engage with and see General Washington's tent. Now, in the last minute or two of my remarks, I want to introduce you to some highlights from our collection. These are all accessible to you through our website, AmericanRevolutionCenter.org, and I'm delighted to, hopefully delighted to show you in a moment. Here we are. In this wonderful interactive application, which is available through the iTunes store for free for those of you who have the iPad. This is designed by a wonderful, creative, local Philadelphia firm, Blue Cadet, and it allows you to explore highlights from the collection, to view video podcasts that describe some of the great ideas and experiences of the people who owned these items. I was wearing the same shirt that day, actually. We're very excited, having put this out just a few months ago. It's about to be updated with quite a few new materials. Teachers are beginning to use this in very innovative ways. And we're starting to see people from around the country looking at these objects, having students engage long before we open the actual doors of the museum to explore and engage in these items. Just two examples: a wonderful piece of continental currency printed here in Philadelphia with the very, I think, sobering, I don't know how many Latin scholars there are here, exitus in dubio est, the outcome is uncertain, or the outcome is in doubt, and a symbol of an eagle attacking a crane. A very powerful symbol for what needed to happen in order to secure independence. Now, sometimes you might think, well, this was Benjamin Franklin, and he picked this out of symbols, and this is all the sort of traditional leaders of the Revolution that we think about. But think about the blacksmith laboring away, making weapons to fight the American War of Independence, who engraved that very same symbol on the lock plate of the flintlock that would be given to a young man to march off with the outcome of that action very much in doubt. So actions, ideas, all the wonderful items from our collection. You can get a great sense of the highlights by checking out AmericanRevolutionCenter.org or going to the iTunes store and looking at the American Revolution Timeline application. And now to hear a little bit about the place that will house these wonderful objects.
Thank you very much, Scott. And it's now my pleasure to introduce Robert A.M. Stern, the founder and senior partner of Robert A.M. Stern Architects, who will present the architectural designs for the Museum of the American Revolution. Mr. Stern is a legendary polymath in the field of architectural design. Not only is he a renowned practicing architect in demand around the world, but he has guided and trained a rising generation of architects, serving as Dean of the Yale School of Architecture since 1998. In addition, he's been one of the most influential advocates of architecture and good design. His writings have won him nominations for a National Book Award, and he's still recognized walking down the street as the host of an award-winning PBS series on the history of architectural design. Now, Mr. Stern's genius is in his understanding that every building should respect the physical and cultural context in which it is located and represent the client's institutional mission. This approach has led to commissions from institutions across this country, including the Norman Rockwell Museum in Stockbridge, Mass., the Museum for African Art on the Museum Mile in New York City, and the George W. Bush Presidential Center at Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas. Here in Philadelphia, we know him as the architect for the acclaimed Comcast Center, the McNeil Center for Early American Studies at the University of Pennsylvania, and for the redevelopment plan and 2 buildings at the Philadelphia Navy Yard. My pleasure to introduce Robert Stern.
We are at the very beginning of the process of designing what we hope will be a building worthy of this extraordinary institution and its setting. I should point out that this is the 3rd time we're at it, so we're getting quite good, but we've moved in from the country and down to the center site, which is a brilliant site, which I hope you can see these, it's hard for me to see them, which I think most people in this audience know how important this site is, with Independence Hall but 2 blocks away behind you, and with the Constitution Center at the end of that very long mall. But we are right in the thick of things where the action took place when General Washington was here in Philadelphia, and we're very mindful in designing the building of the setting of the Revolutionary period, and also of the buildings that are still with us from the years immediately after the Revolution, when the new country was in formation, the bank across the street, the Merchants Exchange, and other buildings. So this is a very special place, and we're working very hard as a team. Our architects in our office, Alex Lamas and Kevin Smith, Tom Lewis are here with me, and the designers from MFM to make a building, and Laurie Olin, the landscape architect, who should be mentioned, will be a very important partner in this design effort to make a building worthy of this institution and of this setting. The buildings around it are an extraordinary group, but they fall into a number of different architectural styles, ranging from the classicism of the early 19th century to the building immediately behind where you sit, and the Custom House of the early 20th century, which at an enormous scale tried to do the balancing act that I think we are facing in our design today, which is to make something that relates to the past but looks forward to the future. We're here to design a museum of the 21st century, but one that remembers the 18th and early 19th centuries. The design that we propose will have a strong entrance pavilion, all glazed, as you can see, at the corner of 3rd and Chestnut. There will be a landscape plaza in front of it, and then along 3rd Street side, there will be a shop for the museum and a cafe, both of which will be accessible from the street. Unlike the building we're sitting in now, which tends to turn its back on the streets that it faces. Ours will open to the street. Above that, entrance pavilion, the second floor of the building will be devoted to the permanent exhibitions, and I'll show you a little bit of the plan. And then on the third floor, there will be offices, as well as reception rooms and the terraces where people can gain a fantastic overview back toward Independence Hall. The design will be crowned by a cupola, echoing but not reproducing the cupola of Independence Hall, and for which we hope there will be a bell or some other wonderful device to signal the building to the public as a whole. This is a cross-sectional model, photo of it, of the building, and you see at the ground floor the entrance lobby on your right, and then the double height, or really triple height, central hall, a rotunda, if you will, with a grand public stair that takes people up. There will, of course, be elevators for those who can't negotiate the stair. On the ground floor, I will show you some of the details of what is located where, but on the ground floor, in addition to the shop and the cafe, there will also be a theater and a gallery for transit or changing exhibitions, so that the building will continually be refreshing its interpretations and bringing people back over and over again. The top floor, as I said, is offices and reception rooms. Here you see a view, and it's a very preliminary one, of the entrance lobby. You come in from under the glazed entrance pavilion into the lobby, ticketing, so forth, take place here. And then the stair that takes you up, or behind the stair, you'll find the theater, and you'll see on the right access to the cafe from inside the museum and the shop as well. And then, of course, there's the display spaces which will be there for the fantastic collection of the museum, but especially there will be a theater to house the tent, the marquee, and you'll be able to go in, and there will be special presentations about the marquee and the role it played as the headquarters for Washington during the Revolutionary War. Then at the top, the terraces will afford a fantastic view back, and this is taken at the elevation of the top floor of the building. It's an accurate view back toward Independence Hall, and place people who are visiting the new museum in the situation of the whole complex of buildings. Lastly, in the evening hours, and people especially stay longer. It may be the first place they've started to visit in the morning, but they may be invited or tempted to come back in the evening when the building will glow with light, and the entrance hall, which will perhaps have a LED display continually changing, celebrating different times of the year, different events in the Revolution, different events happening in the building, to come back and see those events, perhaps hear the bell rung once more before they go back to their hotels or transportation. So that's just a quick overview of the building. I hope you will get a chance to see it now that we're really on track, maybe very soon rising from this site. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob, and I think you can see the inventiveness of his approach to architecture, blending both a wonderful sense of history and place, as well as understanding the modern uses of this building, and capturing the sense of inspiration that we intend to convey. We are so pleased to have this site, and it makes so much sense, as so many people recognize. And in particular, therefore, I'd like to recognize one of the important partners that made this possible, and that's Cynthia McLeod. Cindy, you're here, so please stand up so people. The superintendent of Independence National Park, and thank you to her and her colleagues for understanding the vision and contribution, not only to Philadelphia, but to the American nation, in placing the museum at this location and getting up this building. So thank you for that. Well, you've heard our vision, you've seen highlights from our collection, you've learned about the architectural design. All of these are important things. But for a project of this ambition to succeed, it will take someone with the determination and vision of a George Washington to lead us to that opening day. And fortunately, Philadelphia has such a leader in our current day founding father, Gerry Lenfest. It's my pleasure to introduce an individual who is one of our nation's great business leaders and is creating a record as one of America's greatest philanthropists, Gerry Lenfest.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I put down my written talk just to say a few words, because I don't want to delay this meeting much further. Again, as Mike said, I want to thank the National Park Service, Cindy McLeod in particular, for making this property available to us. There was a period of contention when we were out of Valley Forge, and we resolved it in, I think, the most amicable way, and we so look forward to being here in this location. It is better for us. As Scott earlier said, we saw the buses on 3rd Street right outside. Philadelphia, I think, will become more and more a destination for arts and culture and historic areas. We now have the Barnes Foundation, we have the Philadelphia, or the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts, the Philadelphia Museum of Art. On the cultural side, of course, many others. But we also have the place where the founding of this nation took place. We have Independence Hall, just a block away, Carpenter's Hall, National Constitution Center. I think Philadelphia will become more and more a destination for people not only in this nation but around the world to come visit and see where it all was created here in Philadelphia. So I think this museum will help attract people to come, and not just to see the American Revolution, but to witness all of the areas that were of historic value in the founding of our country. So I look forward to doing it. We're long ways in getting the financing. The building will cost with exhibits around $115 million. And we've raised, with the $30 million from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, we thank Rendell for starting it, but Governor Corbett for making it a reality. We have a $40 million matching grant from me, and we just have received another $10 million donation, which we will announce at a later time. So we're well on our way to raising the funding for the museum. It will be a reality. We will make it happen. So thank you all for being here today.
Gerry, thank you very much. We are humbled by your generosity and your commitment to this cause, and we are deeply grateful for your vision of making the Museum of the American Revolution a reality. And we're honored by the growing number of people who are joining in support of this important project. It's now a great honor that the Mayor of Philadelphia, Michael Nutter, is with us today. Mayor Nutter, thank you for your support. I've already met with members of your staff, and as I know others have, and we are delighted that you are so helpful as we move forward to open the doors of this new world-class museum. Ladies and gentlemen, Mayor Michael Nutter.
Thank you, and I'm going to be tremendously brief as well. As Gerry was speaking, he mentioned just a couple of the things that he's been involved with, but we probably about every other month or so, I'm at some groundbreaking ribbon cutting or some other event involving Gerry Lenfest. When you think about the Philadelphia Museum of Art, Gerry Lenfest. And with the Barnes, just opened, Gerry Lenfest. There's a young man from the Curtis Institute here, and I was thinking as he was singing, if only I had gone to Curtis. I still would not be able to sing, but I would have had a good time. But Gerry, passionately involved in that, in their new building on Locust Street, Hoffa, and now the American Revolution Center. Gerry contacted me about this some time ago. He actually doesn't call very often, and that's okay. But when he calls, you pay attention. Most of the time the call is going the other way. I'm usually calling him for something. So when he calls, I know it's very serious. And he doesn't call very much, but he called about this. And it's clear to me. General, thank you very, very much for laying out the case. It's because of the American Revolution. It's because of the ideals and the ideas formed just a couple blocks away that ultimately allows someone like myself to be the mayor of this great city. It continues to evolve. It continues to demonstrate to us its flexibility, its growth, to living documents that came from this place. History was made here, and the world continues to pay attention to what happens in America, but more closely, what happened and what continues to happen here in Philadelphia. This will be, again, one of our great institutions in this city. We must continue to tell the American story. And it's a story that encompasses all of us in this city, in this state, in this country. People come from around the world. We know, we see a number of our history and hospitality friends are here. And I just love kind of driving up and down Market Street from time to time and seeing all of those people standing in line to see the Liberty Bell, to go to the National Constitution Center. They're over at the Visitor Center. They're up and down the Parkway. They're up and down Market Street. And again, I would say, and I thank our great friend, Mr. Stern, Philadelphians, unfortunately, sometimes we have a way of just kind of taking things for granted that other people find fascinating and are enamored with. I saw the Liberty Bell when I was in second grade. I don't need to see that again. Or, the Constitution, Art Museum. People come from across the country and around the world to see what's going on here in Philadelphia. They'll do the same with the bonds. And so let us not be so sophisticated or so busy that we forget or take for granted all the great places here. It's why we're the #1 city for culture in the United States of America. It's why we're the cultural capital of the United States. And the American Revolution will be another one of those great institutions here. And so firstly, Susan Corbett, thank you so very much. Please express our thanks and appreciation to the governor for the Commonwealth's help and support as we continue to make Philadelphia the great city that we want it to be, the most livable, walkable, and historical city in the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Your words are very inspiring. I think you do this city a great service. Of course, not only Philadelphia, but the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania played a central role in our nation's founding. And we're honored today to have Mrs. Susan Corbett, First Lady of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, join us. Mrs. Corbett is the chair of the Pennsylvania Council on the Arts. She's a trustee of Carnegie Museums of Pittsburgh, an ex officio member of the Philadelphia Museum of Art Board of Trustees, and a commissioner of the Pennsylvania Historical and Museum Commission. She also serves as the honorary chair of the Girl Scouts 100th anniversary celebration and as the honorary chair of the Pennsylvania Breast Cancer Coalition annual conference. How does she find time to do anything else? And I ask you, Mrs. Corbett, we are so pleased that with all of your many commitments and obligations as Pennsylvania's First Lady, that you have joined us today. Ladies and gentlemen, First Lady of Pennsylvania.
Good morning. Thank you for inviting me to join you today to represent the Commonwealth and its support in this very important project, the Museum of the American Revolution. And in the interest of full disclosure, I should also say that I do a lot of things for the tourism industry as First Tourist, and I am a history lover, so that along with my role as a commissioner for the Historical and Museum Commission makes this a very special morning for me. America's story is the Pennsylvania story. From the French and Indian War in the frontier land of Western Pennsylvania, the birthplace of our independence right here in Philadelphia, the War of 1812 and the Battle of Lake Erie, the bloody fields of Gettysburg, the largest battle of the Civil War, and America's first response to the War on Terror in Shanksville. Throughout the centuries, Pennsylvania has played a central role in shaping American history, and its designation as the Keystone State is richly deserved. There could be no more fitting home than in Pennsylvania for a national museum that will engage visitors from around the world in the story of our nation's founding. It was in Pennsylvania, at Fort Necessity, where a young George Washington suffered his first military defeat on July 4th, 1754. Other sites, such as Fort Pitt, Fort Ligonier, Washington's Crossing, and Valley Forge, play important roles in the origin and course of Americans' war for independence. But it is here, in Philadelphia, alongside Independence National Historic Park and the National Constitution Center, that the complete story of our young nation can best be told. In addition to its educational and historical importance, the Museum of the American Revolution promises to bolster heritage tourism throughout the Commonwealth. It's estimated that this anchor attraction in historic Philadelphia will draw hundreds of thousands of visitors throughout the region and the world to Pennsylvania. So I'd like to congratulate the staff and the board of directors of the Museum of the American Revolution for their passion for history and their commitment to education. And I particularly want to thank Gerry Lenfest for his extraordinary and actually breathtaking generosity. Jerry, your unwavering commitment to this project and to so many other worthy Philadelphian endeavors and in this Commonwealth is an inspiration to all of us. And I had the opportunity to meet Jerry first when I worked for the Gettysburg Foundation and the National Park Service and the building of the Gettysburg Museum of the American Civil War. And Jerry was one of our major donors there too. That museum, by putting the Battle of Gettysburg in the context of the American Civil War and the American Civil War in the context of American history, has created a sea change for what visitors learn when they come to Gettysburg. And I think that this museum, the Museum of the American Revolution, is going to do the exact same thing by connecting the dots of all the important events that led to our being an independent nation. So I thank you for your vision and your generosity for this project. I look forward to returning when the doors open for all to experience the lessons that will be learned here about those who struggled and sacrificed to ensure our liberties over 2 centuries ago. And I thank you for allowing me to be part of this very special event. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Corbett. Well, you have seen the plans, you've heard the vision, you understand the challenge, and so today at this place, we're delighted to launch our glorious cause to preserve and tell the story of the American Revolution, and we welcome you all to join us in making this a reality. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. Mayor, First Lady, members of the board, everyone else, it's a pleasure to have you here today. I hope you'll take a minute to continue to inspect the design boards and, of course, continue the conversation. Thank you all for coming.